Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the pronouns or pronombres in Spanish. Okay, pronouns. Let's talk about them in English first. The pronouns in English are I, you, in the singular form, he, she, we, you, in the plural form, they. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more of this. Okay. Now, when we talk about the pronoun you, first of all, it could be singular or plural. And to avoid confusions, we're going to use the expression you all when we're going to talk about the plural of you. So therefore, we will have the following pronouns. I, you, singular, of course, he, she, we, you all, and they. Okay, so let's talk about the pronouns now in Spanish. Okay, the pronouns in Spanish. The first one is I, which we've seen, and I is yo. The next one is you. Now this is singular and it's informal, and we already looked at it too. That would be tú. Make sure you have the accent mark over the you because otherwise it means something else. Now the second one is you, but in singular, and this time formal. And we've also seen this one, and this one is usted. Okay, then we have he. We also saw this one. He would be él. Make sure you have that accent mark, otherwise it will mean something different. Then we have she, which we've also seen before, and this one is ella. Okay, the next one that we have is we. In we have two forms. The first one is nosotros when it's masculine, and nosotras when it's feminine. Now, we use nosotras when it's a group of girls. Now, what happens if it's a mixed group? If it's a mixed group, we always use the masculine. So we would use nosotros. It doesn't matter if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, 1,000 girls in there. If there's one guy in the group, then we always go with the masculine. Now we have you all. You all has 3 different forms. So let's look at the first one. You all, when it's informal and used mostly in Spain, we're going to use vosotros if it's masculine. So if it's only boys or if it's a mixture of boys and girls. Now, if it's only girls, then we're going to use vosotras if it's feminine. So vosotros and vosotras. Very important that you remember that this is technically considered informal and is used mostly in Spain. Now we have another way of saying you all. And this one is considered formal and is mostly used in Latin America, and I use it all the time. I rarely use vosotros or vosotras, but we also have to learn those. So you all, when it's formal and used in Latin America, is ustedes, and ustedes is used for both masculine and feminine. So it doesn't matter if there's girls only, boys only, of a mixed group. For ustedes, you use both of them. And then we have they. Now they, we have also 2 of them. Ellos, if it's masculine, and ellas, if it's feminine. Remember, ellos, if it's a group of only boys or a mixed group, and ellas can only be used if it's only girls, just girls. Okay. Okay, now let's look at the pronouns in a different way. We're going to look at them in the singular and plural, singular y plural, but also on the first, the second, and the third person. So, la primera persona significa first person, segunda persona, second person, tercera persona, third person. So the first person of the singular is yo, and we talked about this. Now, the first person on the plural would be we, and the masculine is nosotros, and the feminine is nosotras. Now the second person in the singular, when it's informal, is tú, but when it is formal, it would be usted. Now let's look at the second person of the plural. The second person of the plural, when it's informal, masculine, and this one is used in Spain, is vosotros. Now the second person of the plural, when it's used in Spain, it's informal and feminine, it would be vosotras. Now this is very important. If in any time you have a question, what is the plural of tú, which is informal, then the plural of tú would be vosotros if it's masculine, or vosotras if it's feminine. So it's very important that you remember that. Now here we go. The second person of the plural, when it's used in Latin America and it's considered formal, it's ustedes. Okay? So also very important, the plural of usted is ustedes. It's very important that you remember all those relationships. So the the plural of tú is vosotros or vosotras, and the plural of usted would be ustedes. Now let's look at the third person of the singular, which is he. That would be él. And the third person of the singular, which is she, it would be ella. Now the third person of the plural, when it's masculine, it's they, and it would be ellos. The third person of the plural, when it's feminine, is ellas. Again, if there's ever a question where it asks you what is the plural of él, it's ellos. And if they ask you what is the plural of ella, it would be ellas. Okay, so it's important that you remember all these relationships. Now, to review the subject pronouns, go ahead and go to Study Blue. I put a set of flashcards in there that says subject pronouns or pronombres. And here's also the link if you just want to go directly.